Hello everyone. We are here in San Francisco today with David Smith to interview him about the Egoscue Method, which is an absolutely marvelous method to be pain-free, to lead a pain-free life that I absolutely love. So David, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name's David Smith, and I am the clinic director of Egoscue San Francisco. Been here about 7 years, and came from San Diego, which in 2003, the only clinic that existed was the clinic in San Diego. So in 2004, we started branching out and franchising, and this is my franchise here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Here in San Francisco on Market Street and Montgomery, right at the corner.
Correct.
And so this method was invented by Pete Egoscue. And could you tell us a little bit about him?
Absolutely. So Pete was in the Marines, and the whole thing started when he was on patrol in Vietnam. They were ambushed, and he got part of his hamstring shot off. He was medevaced out, and the wound healed, but even after the wound healed, he still had intense nerve pain going down his leg. So Pete went to the doctors, and he said, "Docs, help me out. What can you do?" And they did all the tests they could on him, and they came back and they said, "You know, Pete, we think it's in your head. We think it's post-traumatic stress, and there's a chance that the psychiatrist can help." And so they sent him to the psychiatrist. As Pete told me, he went to the psychiatrist a few times and realized very quickly that he wasn't going to get any help for his current situation. And so he said he basically made the decision he was either going to fix himself or jump off a bridge, so to speak. So because the pain was so intense, he knew he couldn't live with it, and he wasn't getting any help from anyone else. So he took it on himself to try and figure out why he was in so much pain. So he opened up an anatomy book, and the first thing he noticed in the anatomy book, with no formal anatomy training in the early 70s, was that the right side of the body looked just like the left. And he looked down at his leg, and his right leg is pointing way out to the side, and his left leg's pointing straight ahead, and he simply thought, well, maybe if I can get my right leg to look like my left leg, I won't have so much pain. And that was how the line of thinking started. It was just based on bone position and joint position, and he figured out what muscles were overworking and underworking based on the position of his leg and the position of his back. And he started to come up with exercises that were aimed at getting his leg straighter. And as his leg got straighter and straighter, the pain got less and less, and before long he was running and jumping and doing all the stuff that the military asked him to do.
Huh.
And
Wow.
and hence that was the beginning of the method.
So he came up with the exercises himself with no knowledge of physical therapy, or?
You know, I actually don't know that. I know a lot of the exercises we use, probably 70% of the exercises we use are from other things. They're from yoga or physical therapy or whatever. The exercises exist for the most part somewhere. The exercises aren't really what's unique about the program. What's unique is the way they're applied to the individual and to the individual's posture.
And my understanding is that they're aimed at making the muscles that were underworking work more, and the muscles that are overworking work less.
Yeah, so based on the position of the joint, so we'll take a knee joint. If the knee is rotated out or the knee is rotated in, it tells us information we need to know about the adductors, the abductors, the hip flexors, the glutes, the hamstrings, and also the function and position of the foot and the function and position of the hip. And of course, the hip function and position is tied into the spine, since the pelvis is attached to the spine. So there's a chain reaction all the way up, and we look at the whole body as a unit, and again, based on that joint position, we can tell where the imbalances are. And then we go after fixing them with exercises specific to those imbalances to get everything realigned and get you well.
Okay, that's fantastic. And then the joint is in that position because muscles hold it in that position.
Well, muscles move bones, right? And of course, nerves tell the muscles to do that. But in the end, muscles move the bones. So we're triggering the muscles then to realign, to change their attention, to realign the bones and realign the body. And then, of course, once that's there, then we recreate and reproduce the pattern so that it creates muscle memory and it stays that way.
All right, that's wonderful. So the joint then reposition itself, and I have read in Pete Egoscue book that you actually can avoid knee replacement and hip replacement and shoulder surgery by simply repositioning the joint in its right position, by working on those muscles that are too tight, holding the joint in the wrong position, loosening those muscles and making other muscles work.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, much of the time that's very true. And there's a time and a place for surgery. There's no question. But you know, most of the people we see are trying to avoid surgery or have been through other things like physical therapy or surgery or chiropractic, and for whatever reason it hasn't been successful for them. And so we get a lot of the people who, I don't want to say they're at their wits' end, but they're definitely looking for something else and something different. And so we see a lot of people trying to avoid surgery. And yeah, by realigning, you know, the joints and the spine, and you know, it gives your body the best chance to heal and hopefully avoid the surgery that's looming, or heal from a surgery that happened.
Or heal from a surgery and be pain-free.
Yeah.
Instead of spending the rest of their life in pain, then with the Egoscue method, they can be pain-free after the surgery.
Well, and we want to give people the tools to do it on their own. So we want to teach you how to fix yourself. And as you know, you came in with some ankle issues, and you know, the goal is to give you the tools you need to realign your body and to stay that way long term without us. So the best thing I love about the method is that you don't need anyone else to do it for you or to you. You do it yourself.
Yeah.
And we're just the guides of teaching you how.
Right, it's incredible. So it's about half an hour a day of exercise, a specific menu, custom for each person, dysfunction.
That's right. That's right. And the time will vary per person. You know, some people who are in a lot of pain, they may need 2 hours, you know, at first. Other people may need 10 minutes. But it just varies based on what you need to get well. And of course, time is always an issue, and sometimes we'll have to break up the exercises throughout the day so that people can fit it in. And other times, you know, we'll have to break it up morning, afternoon, or you know, do it all at once, just depending again on what it takes to get you well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. And could you give us a few stories of success with this method?
Absolutely. You know, the nice thing about what we do is it's for anyone and everyone. So I have worked with a 2.5-year-old kid who his parents brought in because he wasn't crawling correctly, and they noticed they didn't want that to develop into a bad habit. They were worried about his overall development, and we got him back crawling and doing all the stuff a normal 2.5-year-old does, and he's doing well to this day. We've also worked with 90 plus people who have back pain or knee pain or whatever it is, and you know, the great thing about it is no matter what your age, the body acts the same way in terms of it responds to stimulus. So when you give the right stimulus, then the body responds regardless of the age, and you can get well. So we've had tremendous success stories with herniated discs and
could you tell us
knees.
about that, the herniated discs? That's very common.
Sure, it is very common. Sciatic pain, herniated discs, we see a lot of that. Basically, unless you were hit by a car or some kind of blunt trauma, then the disc herniates as a result of imbalance. In other words, you have pressure on your spine, on both sides of your spine. If the pelvis is rotated or elevated, or a shoulder is twisted, or you've got any kind of imbalance, a knee is rotated in versus the other knee being straight or out, it changes the pressure on the spine. So essentially that's why we're looking at you from all 4 views, the front, the side, the top, everything, so that we can see what position your body is in, and then determine from that where the pressure is on your back and on your spine, because then that's going to tell us, as the pressure comes off your back, it allows, let's say you have a herniated disc where you've got a nerve or a disc hitting on a nerve, as the pelvis comes out of its rotation, as the pelvis and spine change position, then the disc can be allowed to come off the nerve to relieve the pain. So it's you know, like I said, herniated discs are the result of imbalance in the spine in the absence of trauma. So, of course, once you fix that imbalance, the disc can go back in place, or at least come off the nerve enough so that you don't have pain. And there are people walking around with herniated discs every day that don't even know it. They're pain-free because the body is just an amazing mechanism like that.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Yep.
So, I'm looking at how much time we have left. And could you tell us how people can come to this clinic? So you have a free introductory class once a month, every first Monday, I believe?
We do. We have the first Monday of every month is free introductory class, and basically we just encourage people who want to come in and talk about their own issues, if it's their back or knees or hips or any kind of musculoskeletal pain. We see it all, and we love, we give people an opportunity to come in and talk about it, and talk with one of the therapists about what's going on with them and how the method can specifically help them. And the class just kind of gives you an idea about the exercises, and really it's just an opportunity for people to come in and see the clinic and kind of get a feel for what we're all about, and of course, most importantly, get a chance to see if they can personally be helped.
Yes.
So that's the idea.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Then you can tell by that first introductory group instruction,
Yeah.
how somebody is doing and if they can be helped, or by just asking them questions, watching them walk, and looking at their bodies.
Yeah, because generally, the Monday is a group class, but in the clinic, it's one-on-one. So someone comes in and we chat with them about their history, about what's going on with them and their bodies. We'll evaluate them, so we'll look at them. Usually men are wearing shorts, no shirt, and women are wearing shorts or tights and a sports bra or t-shirt of some sort. And we look at you from the side so we can see the position of the feet, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, all four sides, so we can see where the pelvis is sitting in relation. Is it tucked under or is it rolled forward? And of course where the pelvis is in relation to the head and the shoulders. And we take pictures of everyone so that you can see what we're looking at, and how it relates to what pains you have or goals. Then we watch you walk. We do a full gait analysis so we can see mechanically and functionally what's happening in your body. We do other functional tests like having you touch your toes and hands behind the head and a bunch of other things so we can get a whole picture about what's happening with you, how your body's working or not working. And then that serves as the basis for the exercises that we create, again, specifically for you, that we then take you through the exercises and monitor your progress along the way. And the best thing about this is the method speaks for itself, and there's immediate difference in the way you feel from doing the exercise right off the bat. So it's not, it doesn't take a month or a year. It takes, about 15 minutes or less to notice and to have a noticeable difference in the way you feel. And of course then it's a matter of repeating that. And so you leave with pictures and explanations of everything you'll be able to do on your own at home. Again, the goal is to teach you how to fix yourself.
Right.
So we're just the guides along the way.
Right. And then you're like a personal trainer, and people come and have that 1 hour session with you where you do everything you just said, and they leave with a menu, a personal menu.
Right.
And you're saying that after this hour with you, they could have a significant reduction of their pain from when they first come in, after they leave after that hour.
No question. Everyone's different, but we've seen miraculous things. We've seen people literally crawl in here and walk out.
Wow.
So level 10 pain, we've seen reduced to nothing.
Wow.
In the matter of an hour.
Of an hour.
And of course that's not true for everybody, but you have those stories that are fantastic, and it's just a testament to how much the body can heal itself,
Right.
given the opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's again, it's a changing posture is a process, and when people come in repeatedly, we have different programs that people get in, an 8 visit and a 16 visit. The whole idea is not a magic number, number 8 or 16. It's just a matter of restoring posture, restoring function, restoring health is a process, and so people come in about once a week to once every 2 weeks, depending on their situation. And as they get better and as their posture is evolving, the exercises evolve. The goal is to get you out of pain and get you well, number one. And number two, the goal is to, like I said, give you all the tools to stay that way long term. So, and there's a certain point where you're doing really well, you're out of pain, and you've got a certain set of exercises that will want to push you out. Maybe we'll see you once a month or once every 6 months just for checkups, depending on how you're doing. And we go from there.
Oh, that's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. I love it.
Well, you've been doing well.
Yes, thank you. And then you also do a webcam session for where you can watch people if they have a webcam at a distance from your own computer here at the clinic, and they're at their house.